I'm Paradox, and welcome to the Gamespherecast, the only podcast on the internet that tries to keep a consistent schedule but can't. Probably not true, but who are you people?
Hi, I'm Levi Church. I was on the last one, and now I'm here again. What's up?
Good to have you back.
My name's Gutrot. I was on one of the earlier phase videos.
Good to have you both back with us. So, as both of them have mentioned, we are going to be continuing the MCU retrospective with part 2 of phase 3. And the first movie we will be talking about is Black Panther.
Cool.
So, what was you guys' initial impression of the movie? Like, just based off the trailers before you even got to see it?
So off of the trailers, I wasn't really too hyped for Black Panther. I didn't really see honestly, why people were so excited for this movie in particular. Like, was it the music? Was it the visuals? I didn't really know. It just kind of seemed like not a super special Marvel movie to me from the trailers.
Yeah. What about you, Gutrot?
Initially, because I had watched the Avengers cartoon, I knew a bit about Black Panther, but I wasn't too crazy
To
about
clarify, did you mean Earth's Mightiest Heroes?
Earth's Mightiest Heroes, yeah.
I was going to say, because I don't believe he ever showed up in Avengers Assemble.
Black Panther's been in quite a few Marvel cartoons. I think he might have been in Iron Man Armored Adventures.
If he was, I didn't see that episode. I thought it was interesting. It was kind of just another Marvel movie for me. And I wasn't really buying into everybody's hype that this will be the first, all-black cast, and it's except you've got a couple of white guys thrown in there. And then, they made it seem like this huge thing when it's not the first. It's just the one that people seem to be hyped about because it's, recent.
Well, Black Panther is the first superhero movie I can think of that takes place in Africa. I can't think of another superhero movie that does that.
It had that, yeah, but I don't think that was what people were hyped about.
Out of all the Phase 3 movies, I remember the hype for this one a lot more.
Yeah.
This and Infinity War. Kind of oh, the internet's going crazy.
Yeah. I think this one had a lot of people torn about the villain, Killmonger. Some people of the opinion that, finally a good Marvel villain, and then other people that were this really isn't all that great a villain, and here's why.
Killmonger's cool. I like Vulture more.
Yeah. I feel like Vulture was... I won't say that he was more believable, per se, but I felt like he was more realistic.
So, yeah, I really like Black Panther. It's not one of my favorite Marvel movies. I would say it's about, in B tier. But, Black Panther, I really wish that he could have gotten, more screen time in his own movie, because it felt like his supporting cast were the real stars, not T'Challa himself.
Kind of a side character in his own story.
Yeah, that's kind of what it feels like.
Yeah. I thought it was kind of odd how they did some things, like having Wakanda being kept a secret from the world, when, as far as I know, in all other Marvel continuity, the world knows about Wakanda and Vibranium and all that stuff, but they, have people trying to get in there and get it, but in this universe, for some reason, there was that known, but they didn't realize they had a giant mountain of it because of holograms?
Wakanda is a secret city,
Oh,
basically.
great.
Everybody just thinks it's a super small country, and they don't realize that it's actually a huge technological, advanced civilization.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think Wakanda's really cool.
I think my favorite part of the movie was when I was during the chase scene after they try to catch Claw at the casino, and he yells about his mixtape on SoundCloud. I think that would have been great if they actually did something like that. Just like Marvel made an account for what the heck was his first name?
Ulysses?
Yeah, made a Ulysses Claw SoundCloud account and like had the mixtape be like a couple of the tracks from. Well, maybe not because there was licensed music a bit in there.
Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse turned Spider-Man's Christmas album into a real thing. So why not Claw's thing?
Exactly, like that would have been such a great thing. A little bit of a mini ARG, like, does he actually have a mixtape on SoundCloud? Look it up. Oh, he does.
Yeah.
Or even if, like, before the movie came out, have something like that.
My favorite fight scene in the movie was probably either the first or second waterfall fight where T'Challa was challenged over King in by the waterfall ceremony.
Yeah.
Those fight scenes are great. I don't know which one's better, but very really great highlight of the movie. Just no superpowers, just regular old-fashioned brawl on top of a waterfall.
Yeah. Do you have anything else to say about this one?
Me, no.
What about you, Gutrot?
You?
Nope.
So, solid movie. Hype wasn't entirely what it made it out to be, but not a terrible movie. Certainly not the worst.
I think this is the only Marvel movie to be nominated for an Oscar. I don't know completely, but yeah.
Yeah. So, moving on to the next one, we have Avengers Infinity War. I feel like this was really hyped up, not quite as hyped up as Endgame.
Nah.
Because this movie
they were both
didn't
equally
seem to
hyped up.
This one, for some reason,
equally.
they didn't seem to pose any real stakes. It's hard looking back on these movies to think of there as being like actual stakes. Everyone kind of knew that Thanos was likely going to win, so it's like it's hard.
I didn't think he was going to win before watching the movie. I actually did not think that Thanos would win. I was actually surprised that he got all 6 Infinity Stones by the end.
Yeah, it was quite surprising that he won, first of all. Because usually, most Marvel movies, they start, they end, and then it's like the world continues. Maybe the events are brought up in 1, 2 movies, maybe. That's all you ever hear. But, like, Infinity War,
I can understand that.
So it's a big...
Maybe it was just me, but I kind of felt like there's no way there's going to be a part 2 to this without there being some reason for it to be resolved. Whether it being Thanos getting all the stones or, like, I don't know. In the moment seeing it, there was that kind of rush of, like, oh snap, he actually did it. But then afterwards, it's like, it kind of makes sense, because how else would they be able to move on to, like, continue this?
I had no idea how Infinity War was going to end before watching the movie. I just didn't. Anyway, so Avengers Infinity War, I think, is the greatest movie of all time, and if you think otherwise, then you're objectively wrong.
Personally, for me, I would rank it in my top 5. I would not say it is my favorite. I do agree that it is a really great movie. It was shot really well, scored really well. Everything about it was just done. I can't really complain. I just don't think, like, this is the best movie I've ever seen. Which I don't think is objectively wrong. Everybody's open to their own opinion.
Okay.
But let's get more in depth with it. Let's actually talk about the movie.
Okay.
So
this movie, whenever it starts out, it just immediately hits you with the death of Loki and Heimdall and half of the Asgardians, and it immediately gets you interested in what's happening in the story. Who is this guy with the purple face? Who are all these people around him? What's going on? Did the Hulk just meet Doctor Strange? What? It's an amazing opening, and then the hype never stops. It keeps going. You never lose your attention ever throughout this movie. Every action scene is top tier, amazing, and it never stops being amazing. It's beautiful. I love it. It's the best. I love it. Okay, what do you think, Paradox?
just immediately, like, gushing fanboy. Now, you who does not share my opinion, what do you think? I like I've said, it's a really good movie. Not one bad shot in it. Characters worked really great together. I cannot imagine them interacting any differently.
Yeah, they handled the characters really well.
The worst part of the movie is...
For so many characters.
The worst part of the movie are the deleted scenes, if you've seen them. All the deleted scenes are really bad, and I'm glad that they deleted them. I just really feel like there's not a single thing in the final cut of the film that is really an issue. Everything's just done so perfectly. Like, yeah, you can say, like, Thor in this movie doesn't really do a good job of continuing off of what Thor Ragnarok did, because in Thor Ragnarok he kind of realized, oh, I don't need a weapon. And in this movie it's like, I need a weapon that can kill Thanos. So, I did a Thanos voice for Thor, I'm sorry.
I mean, I think it kind of makes sense a bit for him, though, because him coming to realize, like, I'm powerful on my own, and then getting beaten down once again by something that is beyond his strength, he thinks that he needs to fall back on something again, just like how he always did with Mjolnir.
That's a great point. That's a great point, Paradox. You just fixed the one issue with Thor in the movie.
Because it's like how Korg talks about it in Thor Ragnarok. It was like something that he held really dear to him, and him losing it was kind of a struggle, and then him just outright losing after such a great victory was a huge hit to who Thor is, and it just kind of made him regress.
Okay. And what do you think? I'm sorry, I don't remember your name. Gutrot. Okay.
Gutrot.
Yeah. What do you think about the movie? You haven't talked very much about it.
Well, it's... I don't know what else to say that, like, you guys haven't said. Like, the characters are handled really well. Like they done before.
Next, if we're all done talking about this, it sounds like we've kind of gotten everything out about that.
Okay, there's one more thing I want to say about Infinity War.
Okay.
I was incredibly impressed that they actually had the guts to kill off Spider-Man in the movie. Just
That I will say was the most surprising thing, at least for me, that happened. It's like, even though I kind of had it spoiled for me by the internet about
I
the
saw
dusting thing.
I saw Avengers Infinity War I, I don't remember if it was Infinity War or Endgame, but I saw it really soon after it came out. With Endgame, yeah, I think I watched it opening night.
I
Um,
saw Endgame like opening weekend. I saw Infinity War. I think the last week it was in theaters in my area. Only
yeah.
because I didn't have the money before then, and I wanted to do something with my friend for his birthday, so we ended up going to see that.
So yeah, for me, the Spider-Man scene, I wasn't saddened at all that they killed off Peter. I was just incredibly impressed that Marvel killed off their most popular character in this movie. Like everybody was thinking, oh, Iron Man and Cap are going to die. Nope, Spider-Man.
Yeah.
It was a huge curveball. And then, of course, everybody was right for Endgame whenever they killed off Iron Man.
So, moving on to the next one. Not really a whole lot to say about Ant-Man and the Wasp, at least that I can think of.
Yeah, Ant-Man and the Wasp. It's a fun little movie. It's not the best Avengers movie because it's not trying to be. It's not really trying to be your normal Marvel movie. It's supposed to be a little bit more of a family fun, kind of cheesy movie.
Yeah.
Not trying to be anything big.
And it certainly wasn't.
Yeah, it's just all right.
It served pretty much only to explain about, like, a little more about the quantum realm and kind of set it up a bit for Ant-Man's return in Endgame.
Real quick, how do you feel about whenever they announced all the Marvel movies at Comic-Con? They didn't list Ant-Man 3 on the list. How do you feel about that?
Not really in a hurry to see another Ant-Man movie.
Okay. And what about you, Gutrot?
Same.
Okay.
So, Captain Marvel.
Didn't watch it. So I'm just gonna let you know.
You really didn't miss much in my opinion. I think this would be my least favorite out of the Marvel movies.
Yeah, I'm on the opposite boat. I think Captain Marvel is pretty good. You know, it's not the greatest. It doesn't have the strongest narrative. It does have a lot of issues. Yes. But it's still got Nick Fury hanging out with an alien cat. It's still got shape-shifting alien Skrulls. It's still got Captain Marvel beating the crap out of both the Skrulls and the Kree in the movie. All the action scenes are great. I love it. Just Nick Fury in general in this movie. He's fantastic. I think Captain Marvel is underrated.
Mm.
So yeah, what do you think about Nick Fury in this movie? Do you think this was a good direction for taking a younger version of Nick Fury, or would you have preferred if he was just more serious and less jokey in this movie?
I think it worked because it kind of wouldn't make any sense for him to have always been as serious as he is.
Okay. Yeah, Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers. I don't think she is really the most interesting Marvel hero. She doesn't really connect to me very well, but I don't dislike her. She's still cool, and I think that her character will only improve with the sequels.
I hope she will improve. I
Yeah.
If she does, then great. It'll be nice to see her go through some changes organically, of course. It wouldn't make any sense for them to just all of a sudden, like, make her better and be like, whoa, what happened?
Okay. So, here's what I'm most excited to see whenever they eventually do Captain Marvel 2. I'm excited to see the Supreme Intelligence actually appear, because we didn't see the actual Supreme Intelligence in this movie.
Which seems
Do you
kind
know
of
what the Supreme Intelligence looks like?
I don't. I'm not too familiar with that.
Okay. We saw the Supreme Intelligence in, like, the ending of the TV show Earth's Mightiest Heroes.
Which I did not finish.
Yeah, I'm going to look up an image of him real quick, of his ugly face. I hope you enjoy it, and I can't wait to see it in an actual film. You can talk a little bit while I look for it.
Okay. I think I'm gonna talk about a thought I just had. A lot of people were upset about how they handled Nick Fury getting his eye removed, or like him getting the eye injury with the eye patch and stuff. I think if you actually think about it a little bit, it kind of makes sense, because he said last time he trusted somebody, he lost an eye, but that doesn't necessarily mean that just because it was the cat that clawed it out, that it was the cat who he trusted. Like, there was a lot of people that he was trusting in Captain Marvel. He was trusting Carol, he was trusting Talos?
Yeah.
He was kind of placing his trust in a lot of people. So it kind of would make more sense if that's what he was referring to rather than the cat, because he said last time I trusted someone, not last time I trusted something.
Yeah, I think like, Nick Fury's whole thing is that every word that comes out of his mouth is a complete and total lie. So it makes perfect sense for him to kind of build up him losing his eye as, like, some horrible tragedy when really it was just a cat scratch. It just makes perfect sense.
I think either could work. There's an argument for either school of thought, so...
Like, whenever the Russo brothers were filming Captain America: The Winter Soldier, yeah, I don't think that they were planning on Nick's eye scratch being a flirkin' cat.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's a good joke. I like it. And especially since, like, that was the one big thing that everyone was hyping up. Like, oh man, we're going to finally found out how he lost his eye. And everybody was building that up. I can't tell you how many times I saw the clip online from The Winter Soldier in, like, every video about Captain Marvel.
But while you're searching for that, do we have any other things to say about Captain Marvel?
Yeah, I think it's good. Yeah.
Let's get to the most justified big hype of this franchise, Avengers Endgame.
I actually just found the image. Just now found it, of the Supreme Intelligence. Here's what it looked like in the cartoon.
It looks like an upside-down Squidward.
I guess.
Oh.
Alright, so Avengers Endgame.
I liked it.
Yeah, Avengers Endgame is great.
I like it.
Yeah. You guys go ahead and talk. I can't talk.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Endgame was cool. Only complaint I had about it was how slow the first act felt. The very first hour just seemed like it could have been cut down a bit, in my opinion, because it just seemed to take so long for them to get to the point of it being like, we're 5 years later now, and we couldn't stop Thanos, and now we're gonna do something crazy to try and change everything.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a bit slow.
Alright, so I have a confession to make. So I do have this movie on Blu-ray, but I haven't seen it since opening night in the theater. So it's probably been the longest for me out of all three of us that I've seen the movie. So yeah, and so if I say anything about the movie, it'll probably become immediately outdated as soon as I rewatch it, which might be right after we record, maybe.
So,
Yeah, so I think the movie is good. Whenever I first saw it, I wasn't sure if I liked it more or not than Infinity War. I think they really are equal. Like, Infinity War, probably has the better pacing, but that's because Endgame intentionally tries to have a bit of a slow start to get you really into, to help you really understand the full weight of what Thanos did to the world and how everything has changed in the last 5 years.
yeah.
Yeah. I really like everything this movie does. I think Professor Hulk was really cool idea. I really like what they did with Thor. I really like what they did with Cap and Iron Man. I don't really remember what they really did with Black Widow in this movie. So the ending of this movie is of course amazing, seeing all the heroes come together. But
Oh, yes.
I do like the climax of the last movie a little bit better. I just got a phone call, so I'll be back in a minute.
Okay.
The memes that were made from this movie were a real shining star.
Oh, the memes.
The memes. No, I don't think I will.
I don't know. I don't think there's a whole lot to really say about Endgame. A lot of people have seen it, and anybody who hasn't, I would highly suggest you go watch it.
Sorry about that.
No problem.
Yeah, so what were you guys talking about before I got back to my computer?
That I really like Endgame, and that Gutrot really liked the memes.
Okay. Yeah. Endgame's really good. I still need to watch it again. I think I was saying right before I left that I think the climax of Infinity War was better.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's really just because, I only seen the climax of Endgame once, and I was in a theater full of loud people cheering at every single one of the big moments. So I just need to watch it again.
Yeah. Actually, at the theater I was at, when Cap caught Mjolnir, like, everybody exploded, and I just yelled, "Yeah!" And my friends were just
Me
sitting there like,
too.
"You're such a nerd." I'm like,
That
"Shut
was
up,
my
so are
theater
you."
too. Yeah.
Alright, so I think that's where we'll end it off for this one. Like the video, comment down below any topics you would like to hear us talk about, and if you'd like anybody you would like to see on here as a guest, like Levi Church. Thanks for coming on again.
Yeah, thank you. I would really appreciate it if everybody watching this video would then go check out my new video I just made yesterday about Young Justice Outsiders. It's really cool, and I also am posting a webcomic now on DeviantArt that is a continuation of the cartoon OK KO Let's Be Heroes. It was a great show, it had a great ending, but I want to continue it with my own comic. So please check that out.
Yep. Also, remember to check out Levi on Twitter, as well as the GCast official Twitter. And even though he wasn't here, Ninja wanted me to once again mention that you should check out his Twitter because he's lonely.
Okay.
Anyway, subscribe to the GCast for more videos like this, and we will see you next time. Stay spherical. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.